You're looking at a chart of Euro Viper. It's a 5-minute chart. It's the same as Euro Viper for the Forex, but this one trades it's the same Viper as the Euro currency futures, but it trades the Forex. You can see the symbol EURUSD. It trades on 5 minutes. Like I said, it does not use a custom session, so you'll get the chart plotted during all 24 hours, but you only trade during US session hours. And let's look at some of the settings. You can see here the version. There's 3 versions, like I said. You can change that number to 1, 2, or 3. 3 being the most selective version, 1 being the least selective version. Change the number of contracts here. If you want to trade 200K or 300K, you would change that to 2 or 3. If you wanted to trade a million, you would change that number to 10. This is the stop loss. You can change that number to whatever number you like when you lease the strategy or purchase the strategy. If you want to do your own research and you find a better exit strategy, you can change that number as well. So that is Euro Viper. You can trade one version at a time, or you can have all 3 versions running. I have 2 other windows in this workspace that show Euro Viper 1, Euro Viper 2, and Euro Viper 3 all at the same time. Next strategy is EVP 1, 2, and 3 for the Forex. It's one of my favorite strategies. I designed this back over 10 years ago. It was in December of 2000 that I started using this on the stock index futures, a different version of this, and I've modified it for the currency futures and Forex. And so, as you can see, it's EVP1 here, EVP2 here, and then EVP3 over here in another window in my workspace. And basically these two all 3 are very correlated, and the first 2 use a custom session. They use let's look at the custom session that it uses. It also looks at the Euro currency futures, but it uses I have an EVP FX. That's a custom session from 9 to 5. And so it's 8 to 4 Central, 9 to 5 Eastern time, and it only takes trades during the first 2 hours. And basically you can see some of the trades here. It has a $300 stop loss. You can add a profit target to it. Recent trading shows that adding a profit target in the current market environment has improved it. So you could potentially set this up for one version to use a profit target, and one also trade the same version not using a profit target to get some exit diversity. You can see some a short trade here. We have EVP2 over here. Some recent trading. This is in one of our portfolios, our low frequency portfolio. The one that I recommend the most is a low frequency portfolio, and here's a recent trade. It got short at 131.897 and 131.031. It's a pretty good trade here, and I actually took this trade in the futures and not the Forex in our portfolio. But you can also trade Forex if you prefer. Let's look at some other trades. Got a short here. That was a good trade too. Small loss here. Stopped out at what was that? Pretty small loss, as you can see. And then another small loss. Break even up here. That's the recent trading, and that it's pretty selective, so it doesn't trade all the time. There are several days in between each trade usually, or it can be fairly active in a very wide-ranging volatile market. So that is the EVP. The EVP3 is a little different, that it trades until, let's pull it over here in this window. You see some recent trades there as well. It has a little bit different custom session. It trades from, it's open from US stock. Basically, if you use this in the futures, it's US stock pre and post market for EVP3, and then if you use it for EVP1 and 2, it's US stock pre-market. So you can see here, EVP3, it will take trades until 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, while the other 2 will only take trades during the first 2 hours of trading. So that is the main difference. The criteria is slightly different for each, but they're very correlated. This is the Python for the Forex strategies. I have 2 versions of this, the regular version here and then the no gap version here. You can see that in the signal name, EURUSD short entry, EURUSD no gap, and the no gap version will not take a short trade on a gap down, and it will not take a long trade on a gap up. and it uses the difference between the close on the previous day during the U.S. session hours to the open during the U.S. session hours to determine whether there's a gap. But there is no custom session, and so the gap is not based on the 24-hour session, but it's based on the opening closing difference at the time of the stock market. So it would be a gap based on when the stock market opened and closed. And so let's look at the settings for these. You can change the number of contracts, one or as many as you want. You can change the stop loss. On the futures, the stop loss is 700. Forex, I have it set to 350. You can change that if you want. And then no gap, it's set to 0, which means it's off. The regular version will take a trade whether there's a gap or not. So the no gap filter is 0 or off. And in the other window, same thing, same exact file, except the settings are the same, except the no gap version. The no gap filter is set to 1, which means that it's on, and so it will not take a long trade on a gap up or a short trade on a gap down. And again, that gap is based on the open to close difference when the stock market opened and closed. The gap in the futures are on the Forex. So at 8:30 a.m. Central Time, opening price compared to 3:15 Central Time closing price. So that is the two different versions of Python and the strategy that we have for Python. This is EURUSD. It's a strategy that trades during the night session that starts in Europe. Most of all of our other strategies trade during the day, but we wanted to look at some opportunities at night. It uses the custom session. It starts at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can see the first bar is 2:01, and the last bar is on this custom session is 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But it gets out. It doesn't take trades past noon Eastern Standard Time, and so you have this strategy. It looks for trends at night, and so if you're looking for a diverse approach, or you're looking to trade a market during different time frame, different hours, is you can trade this EURUSD to take advantage of moves at night. Sometimes the euro will move at night, and then it will not move during the U.S. session. So around 7 or 8 Eastern Time, the euro will move less while all the trend happened at night, and so maybe you missed that move. And EURUSD makes an effort to catch those trends that happen at night. Let's look at the settings, contract settings, and a stop loss settings is it. So 30 points as a stop loss per 100k unit, and that is the settings. You can also insert other exit strategies if you want, and any of these strategies that you have. One of the things you may not know you can do is you can insert. You can choose insert strategy, and you can for example, is to enter your own exit strategy. Exit the close, exit at noon. I have some specialized exit strategies that I insert and test out, and so you can enter in profit targets, trailing stop losses, and try your own exit strategies, see if you can find something that even works better that I may have not found in my own research. So that is one of the opportunities that you have with this easy language, and that is the EURUSD strategy.